What's going on, y'all? Your boy back with another video. So I've been MIA for a few days. Had some stuff, as they say, life be life, but feeling a little better today. So the show must go on, right? I'm gonna talk about today, man. Y'all notice, for all my Philly people out there, y'all notice this new Philly that's going on? You know, those of a certain age, let's just say 30 and up. Do y'all notice this new Philly that we living in? And don't get me wrong, some of it is just the times that we live in. It ain't just a Philly thing, if we being real. Because other places going through the same thing, more than likely. But I spent my entire life here in Philly, so I can only talk about where I'm at. But it just seemed like growing up in that old era, you know, was like the golden years compared to now, because now is more like there's no structure, there's no morality. And like I said, some of that is just the times we live in. It ain't just a Philly-based thing. It's more of like we live in a certain time, so things are different. People is different. I understand that. But it's like, wow. You talk about a drastic change. I seen this city go through a drastic change. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about one particular thing, because if we being real, Philly always been a dangerous city. From when I was coming up to before I was even born. Philly always been a dangerous city. Now, is it at an all-time high now? Yes, certainly. But it was always a dangerous city to live in, no matter what. You know. But it just, like I said, now is more like, for one, we don't even have our own swag no more. Philly, we used to have our own swag, from our rap to our culture to the way we dress, the way we carry ourselves, for the most part, because people was different, you know, all around. But if I'm being totally honest, Philly seemed like we like the swagger jack a little bit. No, a lot of it with a lot of things. And don't get me wrong, I get it. We have social media now, so we have access to more things and being diverse and seeing other places and other trains of thought or what have you. But still, we took pride in being who we are. You know, and now it's just me talking. It seemed like we don't. It seemed like we don't. Like we, you know, we just latch on to whatever's, you know, deemed cool. Like, if you think about it, our music. I mean, I don't even listen to none of this new rap. I mean, I'm old school when it comes to my hip hop, but the whole what's the name of it? Damn, I'm drawing a blank. But we don't have our Philly sound. Our rappers, and some of them probably talented. Like I said, I wouldn't know, because I don't really listen to none of these new guys, but probably talented, but it ain't that Philly sound that we know and love. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, wow, like that's just one example of it. You know, I remember growing up, we used to have like block parties. Now, obviously, we can't have block parties no more. I know why. So I'm not asking, like, bring block parties back. I wish we could, but we obviously can't. Just because of the way of the world. Well, not the way of the world, because I know there's other places that still have block parties. It's the structure of our city. For safety reasons, obviously. But people was more approachable. People was more genuine and forthright. People are different. People have motives. People have angles. And not to say that got something to do with the block party thing. I'm just saying the type of people that we're around, that we dealing with here, is really a thing. You know, so it's like, man, you talk about place, block parties, play street. We would get, little lunches and stuff, and kids was kids. Teenagers was teenagers. Was people out ripping, running, doing God know what? Yes. But now it's like on steroids. It's on steroids. Like, it's different. You know what I'm saying? And it make you look like, damn, man. When you look back on, you like, damn, I should have held on to them golden years, not knowing that was going to be a thing of the past, where our children can't even indulge in none of that because they'll never understand it because they don't come from it. I tell my kids stories about how it was. They sitting there with their mouths open like, really? Like, whoa, that was a thing? Like, yeah, we didn't just sit in the house on our phones. And a lot of this is just, like I said, a time thing. It ain't necessarily a Philly thing, but it's the times we live in, obviously. But we ain't just sit in the house on our phones. We went outside and played hopscotch, catch a girl, get a girl, red light, green light, all the things you hear about, all the things y'all young people hear about. It was a thing because I was there for it, and it was fun. It was genuine fun. Now you don't even want your kids to go out the door, and I understand why. Because I barely want mine to go out, so I understand it. But it's just like getting back to the whole Philly, like this new Philly thing is just like, it's corny. We swagger jack, the whole drill, that's what's called drill music. We ain't, like, that's not us. And not hating on it, it is what it is, but that's a Chicago thing. We got our own swag. Philly, like, we always had charisma and swag and thoroughness. We don't have none of them things now. If I'm keeping real, I'm sure some do, but for the most part, it's watered down because everybody trying to be like somebody else. Whether it's music, whether it's culture, whether it's style, whether it's fashion, no matter what it is, there's nothing that's original no more. And like I said, not just exclusive to Philly, but that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Philly, so we're going to leave this on the Philly thing. We had clubs. Now, obviously, it's clubs now. At this point in my life, I'm who I am. I'm a little on the older side. And I act my age because this guy's my age that club hop every weekend, But me, I'm not really your club guy. I'll go to a bar or two occasionally, but I don't do the clubs and lounges. But it seemed like back in the day, they was just more, I don't know everything that goes on in these clubs now, but through the lens of social media, you don't have to go to a club to see what's going on in the club. You have an idea of what's going on, and it don't even compare. We had Plush, Shampoo, you name it, Egypt. Now some of the clubs, I'm just going by hearsay because some of them clubs, I ain't gonna lie, was even before my time, like Kathmandu and Dances and Brave New World and all that, 720 Arch Street and all that. Like some of them clubs, I'm gonna keep it a buck, my older siblings was going to, or like people I knew because they was old enough to get in. I wasn't even old enough, but for my era, oh yeah, we had some all right Jones, and people was just more down to earth. Yeah, the shit pop off here and there, yeah, but it wasn't like now, like where you can't, I don't know. Like I said, I don't do clubs no more, but I got a pretty good understanding of what what the club scene is like. You get any random weirdo bull can get a section and turn up and make it look like, I'm the end all be all. Like, that shit is lame. But, not getting sidetracked. Like I said, we had the block parties. As kids, we used to actually play in the water plug and have fun with each other. Did everybody always see the eye? No, fuck no. But it ain't end with a deletion of somebody. It didn't end that way. because people stood on morals and stuff. It was more ethics. And like I said, this is more of the times. It ain't Philly. But what I'm seeing from Philly is us biting off people. Like, now we a gang city, and I ain't gonna get too deep into that, but like, we never was a gang. Like, we had obviously a known notorious, gang back in the 80s and early 90s. Everybody know who that is, but it wasn't no certain sections like some West Coast shit. It wasn't like this block and all that. But what we do is we bite off other places, and now we want to do it. Now we want to make that our culture. Like, to me, this new Philly is corny and lame. And don't get me wrong, I love my city. Love it. Wouldn't want to be born nowhere else. Wouldn't mind, going to other places. I obviously live in other places, and in my life somewhere else. That's more of like down the road. But I'm talking about, I love my city just from being here 40 years plus. You know what I'm saying? So that's not the thing. It's just like, but what I'm seeing is a trickle down effect, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. We used to have style and finesse and swag. I don't see it. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't see it. And I know I ain't the only one. The guys, for the most part, is lame. Chicks is corny too, obviously. That's everywhere. The women is just whatever you want to even call. I don't even know what to call that, but I ain't gonna go there. And like I said, it's more of a time thing. The days we living in is just different. People is different. Understandable. But when you round it up, if you old enough to look back and then look at now, 99% of y'all gonna be like, yeah, it was different. Now you gotta see something. And I don't knock people for being like, modest and laid back and not wanting to deal with a bunch of people, because I'm one of them. So I'm not saying we should change and reach out more. It's hard. You can't reach out. They make it impossible, because every time you turn around, it's this or that. Or you got to deal with hidden motives and hidden agendas, and you got to worry about who other people know. And if I'm with this person, they know this person now. There's so many worries to people, so I get why. Some things is the way it is. But overall, on the whole landscape of it, it's like, no, we could do better. Because I'm seeing my city turn into some other city that I never even been to or seen. Feel me? So it's like, what is that? But yeah, it's like, it's one of them things where you just you hold on to the memories, because you never gonna see it again. And at least I have that memory. Some people wasn't even from that generation, so all they could go by is stories. They didn't experience it. I actually experienced it, and I look back on it with pride and be like, oh man, it was some fun times. I wish these kids from this generation could even taste some of that joy that we had. They'll never get that. Because like I said, it ain't getting better, it's getting worse. And I want better for my city, but I just don't see it. I don't see it at all, if I'm being brutally honest. Yeah, but I wanted to touch on that. Y'all see the same thing out here from my Philly people, and actually wherever you at, because I'm sure people from other cities have stories just like mine, like where, damn, what happened? This changing, that changing, can't do this no more, that's taken away, there's limitations on this. Man, we used to chill, we used to hang out, wherever it was. And when you're young, all you worrying about is, girls. So you out, might holler at shorty, and it was fun going down to the gallery, chilling, doing a little shopping, hanging out at the food court. It seemed like now, they obviously got the mall, they changed it and it's a different name, but it's still there. But That's not a thing now. That's not a thing, you know. And let me know. Maybe I'm wrong, because I'm not from that area. I'm not, in the mix. So maybe I'm wrong, but I don't even hear about it. So I know I ain't wrong. I would at least hear about it. You know what I'm saying? But there's a different times we living in, people. And it's just, it make you hold on to the memories more fonder. You feel me? And have pride in, growing up. And it wasn't the best era. I mean, I'm sure it's people that's from a generation or two over me that think they era, maybe the 80s and the early 80s and the mid 70s in their eyes was the best. So it's all subjective, obviously. But there's no way this is the best era. Like, this is something else. There's no way. Like, now it's going to be younger people that say, no, it's cool now, at least we got social media, we can interact. I guess. But overall, this is not nowhere near like the best era, at least for my city, because there's really nothing for these kids to do. There's no program, there's no nothing. I mean, if you in a sport, cool. That's the best outlet you got. If you into a sport, like through your high school, whatever, you will have a little outlet to do things, obviously, and travel and go play other schools. And that's a whole experience, because I did it. I did it in high school. So that's a whole experience nonetheless. But it's not a lot for these youths. They have little programs I be hearing about here and there, but it don't be about nothing. It's watered down, because there's only but so much you can do, resource-wise, and just the way of life-wise, like the way life is right now. But like I said, a lot of youths, a lot of young people don't mind just sitting in the house on their phone chilling. That's their way of. That's a turn up for them. And in a way, I don't blame them, because ain't shit outside. Unless you one of them trouble kids and you already know you outside, you in the mix. But ain't even just a youth thing. As an OG, like, Philly was better. We had we don't get it fucked up. We still got speakeasies, but not like it was. Like, it was like a speakeasy on every block when I was growing up. Don't ask me how I know, I just know. And when I was of age and able to go in the speakeasy legally, 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, even though it ain't no real age for a speakeasy, we be real, but you know what I mean, old enough to legally drink. Speaking for those that don't know, speakeasy is just like a drink house. It's like a bar, but in somebody's crib. And depending on the atmosphere, you could be in there chilling, listening to music, maybe watching TV, playing cards, or what have you. Don't get me wrong, speakeasy still exists. It's just far and few between. It used to be one on every other block. I lied to you not. Growing up, it was one on every other block. Everybody knew a spot. Now it's like one in each section of Philly. It's just one in each section. That's it. Section, I'm talking about West Philly, North Philly. You got one here. That's how it is now, because the times, obviously, the times we live in now. And it's a shame, but it's true. It's true. So, like I said, this ain't just a youth thing. It's for, people of age as well. It ain't the best of times. Everything is watered down and fabricated and corny. Like I said, to get to the gist, Philly is corny now. I said it. The city I love and know oh so well is corny. We dick eat off other places. We dick eat off people just in general. We had our own thing. And that's more of a people thing. Because I bet I go to another city, they dick eat too. They draw too. They not thorough as well. But I'm just saying, like, I can only speak to where I'm at and what I see. And this ain't the Philly I know and love. This ain't it. It ain't. But like I said, y'all know my style. I say the things that people think but don't necessarily want to say. don't want to be controversial. And I'm not a controversial person overall, but I'm real. I mean, all I got is my word and my realness and my thoroughness. That's all I got. And I have to speak on it. Different times we living in, ladies and gentlemen. Different times. You know what I'm saying? But can't bitch and moan about it. But damn sure gonna bring it to the forefront. Damn sure gonna speak on it. You know? But I'm almost at my destination. Let me know what y'all think about this topic. Do y'all like more like real videos like this? Do y'all want me to do this more? I'm trying to reach my viewership and appease in any way I can, within reason. What type of content y'all like? Y'all know I do the food stuff. I talk sports. I do a little bit of everything here because I'm kind of a jack of all trades. I know a lot of people be wondering like, well, why are you combining all this to just make it different? I'm not with all that, and I'm not trying to blow up off YouTube, so it don't really mean nothing in the grand scheme of things of having a sports channel, a food channel, then a talking point channel. I get that's the smart way to do it. I do acknowledge that, obviously, but I just like to just throw. I barely, I ain't worried about a bunch of viewership and content. It would be nice because I'm no fool. It would be nice to have 1 million subs, but it ain't really a priority to me, if that makes sense. So I'll throw everything at y'all. I hope y'all like what y'all seeing and getting the content and the rawness. With that being said, if you like this video, tap that like button, tap that bell. That's like a notification so you can see when my videos coming out. And also hit me with a comment and subscribe. I'm gonna be bringing out more videos. Like I said, sorry for the disappearing act, but everybody go through things, and I guess I'm privy to that as well. Like I said, if you like this video, hit the like button and catch me on the next joint. I'll holler y'all.